Hello everyone, welcome to Telangana Exam Center. This is me Sayyid Shujatullah, your educator. Today we'll be talking about an important current affair related to classical languages. It has been very clear that Union Cabinet has given classical language status to five important languages of our country, that is Marathi, Pali, Prakrit. Pali is in Buddhism language. Prakrit is Jainism. So small letters in the religion, the more letters in the language, more letters in the religion, less letter in the language. That is how you have to remember. So Marathi is in Maharashtra, Pali. Small number, less number of letters in the language means religion will be having more letters, nothing but Buddhism. Prakrit is for the Jain, Assamese and Bengali. These are the five languages that has been recently accorded the status of classical languages. Let us see the difference between a classical and official languages. We'll also talk about what are the criteria to be called a language as a classical language. Let us see all of these one by one. So one important aspect I have to tell you, the languages of any country can be divided into three categories. One is national language, another one is classical language. And the last one we are having what? Official language. So national language, classical language, official language. In India, we do not have the category of national language. We have official languages, nothing but Hindi and English, where the parliament orders, parliament proceedings, government administrative institutions, whatever they publish, they will be either in Hindi or English. These are called as official languages. And we also have another category called as what? Classical languages. National language as such we don't have. No language of India is now given as a status of a national language, right? Okay. Let us see the other important aspect. Classical language is basically considered as a custodians of India's ancient and profound cultural heritage. Heritage is nothing but something that has been existent from a long period of time and it is still relevant to us. We call it as cultural heritage. So a language that has been there thousand centuries back and now also it has its relevance. It means we have to be proud of our ancestors or not? Yes. So these languages basically act as a custodian, means they reflect, they tell to the world that see, we are as old as the mankind has existed. We were a advanced and developed civilization at this point of time, like that. In October 2004, the central government has decided to have a new category of languages called as classical languages. So remember this point. With this point very clear, it is that classical languages are not a part of original constitution. Not mentioned in the constitution itself, because in the year 2004, a new category of languages has been created. We call it as classical languages. On October 12, 2004, Tamil became the first Indian language to receive the status of classical language. Remember this point, because Tamilian literature, Sangam literature, very high antiquity is there, rich literary tradition, nothing but a language which is having prose, which is having poems, which is having supplementary novels, which is having journals written, which is having like that, a system of grammar is there. Such kind of languages are called as repository. We call it as what? Repository, or we call it as what? Literary tradition. In November 2004, Linguistic Expert Committee was constituted by the Ministry of Culture under the Sahitya Academy. So this committee was asked to examine the eligibility of languages proposed to be accorded classical language status. So this committee was entitled to complete the task that which language to be called as classical language. For that purpose, they have to actually draw a eligibility criteria. On July 25th of this year, Linguistic Expert Committee unanimously revised the criteria for classical status and included Marathi, Pali, Prakrit, Assamese and Bengali. Remember this point. Now let us see the important criteria of this particular classical languages. First of all is antiquity. The language should have antiquity, nothing but should have a long history, should have lot of prose, poems, etc. Literary text will be there, and which should be as old as 1500 years to 2000 years. Then this criteria is over. Second criteria is rich literary tradition. The language must have an extensive body of literature, regarded for its cultural. It should have a cultural importance, scholarly research, PG, PhD can be done. Historical significance should be there, may be written in inscriptions, like poetry, like epigraphical. So that kind of rich literary tradition should be there. Means once upon a time, traditionally the language was used extensive by the king and the dynasties of that period. Independent tradition, the language should be distinct from its current form or could be discontinuous with later forms of its offshoot. Just like we say that Marathi is not actually Marathi, like Prakrit is Maharashtri Prakrit we say actually. Okay, not exactly the Prakrit. So how a language existed one upon a time, now it should be in a changed form. Remember this point. These are the three important criteria given: antiquity, rich literary tradition, and independent tradition. Okay, right. Then the Ministry of Home Affairs initially granted classical language status to Tamil and Sanskrit languages. Later on, the Ministry of Culture also assumed responsibility for the further implementation of future recognition. That is how Marathi, Pali, Prakrit, Assamese, Bengali were added recently. Till now, after adding these 5 languages or giving these languages as a status of classical languages, at present we are having total classical languages as 11. First one was accorded Tamil, Sanskrit, Kannada, Telugu, Malayalam, Odia, and 5 new ones. 6 old, 5 new. So 11 classical languages we are having. Remember this point. So what is the benefit of a language to be called as a classical language? Means here the government will take the promise of promoting and preserving the particular language. Government will create a separate department in the university. Graduation or intermediate courses will be launched in that particular language, or a elective will be given as a language. Okay, so government generally want to preserve it. If you want, how can you preserve it? When you learn it. So for that purpose, learning and diploma courses will be launched by the government. Okay, classical language can also aid a language in addressing contemporary challenges like digitalization and globalization. With the help of classical language, we can make the apps more suitable to that particular language so that we can leverage the powers of digitalization and globalization. Classical language is also expected to create employment opportunities because we want to promote and preserve the language, we create new departments, we recruit new people in that particular language. Documentation, digitization, all these will generally generate what? Jobs. Okay, the Ministry of Education already takes steps to promote classical languages, such as 3 central universities was established in 2020 through an act of parliament for the promotion of Sanskrit language. The Central Institute of Classical Tamil was set up to facilitate the translation of ancient Tamil text into and offers courses in Tamil. Now let us see the new languages and little bit of their history and also the GK. Marathi is now called as classical language. It is said to be the descent of Maharashtri Prakrit. Means it is one of the language that has been evolved from Prakrit only, that is called as Maharashtri Prakrit. It is as old as 1st century BCE. And this particular Maharashtri Prakrit was first found in a stone inscription in Pune. Remember this point. And one more point here is, the earliest evidence of modern Marathi language can be traced to copper plate inscription found in Satara. Okay, Bengali and Assami both are found their origin from Magadhi Prakrit. Nothing but Magad is a place where this particular languages has been originated in the Magadhan court, dating back to 6th and 12th century. So when it was actually evolved, that is important. Please remember the centuries also. Prakrit, we know it very well that it is a language of Jain, and it is closely related to Indo-Aryan languages. One of the important statement or fact you can take it as. Okay, fine. Another important point here is A.L. Basham wrote in The Wonder That Was India. By the time of Buddha, the masses were speaking languages which were much simpler than Sanskrit. These were the practice actually, which several dialects has been attested. So basically, A.L. Basham told that where at the time of Buddha, many languages came into being, and people are using all that languages which are very much simpler than what Sanskrit. And he went on to say that whatever the languages that we have, whatever the dialects that we have, that Marathi, Bengali, Assamese, these are all the offshoots of Prakrit, like that he commented. See, you can see this is a script of Ashokan edict. Remember this point. Okay, you can see here Ashokan edict in Dhauli near Bhubaneswar, Madhya Pradesh. So you can Odisha. This is what Ashokan script. Remember this point. Now let us see the difference between a official language. More than 100 languages and 720 mother tongues are spoken in our country. The constitution does not list any language as in national language, as I've already told you. Now let us see official language. Clause 1 of Article 343, official language of the Union says that the official language of the Union shall be Hindi in Devanagari script, and the form of numerals to be used for the official purpose of Union shall be international form of Indian numerals, nothing but Roman number 123. English alongside Hindi is one of the two official languages of the central government. Article 343(2) says that for a period of 15 years from the commencement of the constitution, English should be continue to be used as the official language of the country. But since then also till now, English is used as the official language. Under Article 343(3), Parliament may by law provide for the use after the set period of 15 years the English language or Devanagari form of numerals for such purposes as may be specified in the law. By the help of law, we can also make any amendments to these particular languages. On January 26, 1965, Section 3 of Official Languages Act 1963 came into effect, which provided for the continuation of English for the purpose of union and for the use of parliament, okay, even after expiration of 15 years. After 15 years also, with the help of a new section added under the Official Language Act, okay, after 15 years also English can be continued like that all the time. 8th schedule of the constitution has the following languages. Okay, 22 languages are there. Article 344(1), 351 of the Constitution contains provisions related to 8th schedule. The 8th schedule has the following 22 languages: Assamese, Bengalis, Gujarati, Hindi, Kannada, Kashmiri, Konkani, Malayalam, Manipuri, Marathi, Nepali, Oriya, Punjabi, Sanskrit, Sindhi, Tamil, Telugu, Urdu, Bodo, Santali, Maithili, Dogri. Okay, of these languages, 14 were first incorporated in the constitution. Out of 22, 14 were incorporated in the constitution. The Sindhi language was added in 1967. 3 additional languages, Konkani, Manipuri, Nepali, were added in 1992. Bodo, Dongri, Maithili, Santali were added in 2004. Okay, so 14 languages were already added in the constitution. Later on, Sindhi language was added in 1967. Konkani, Manipuri, Nepali were added in 1992. Bodo, Dogri, Maithili, Santali was added in 2004. This is all about the languages. I hope this is all clear to you. If you have any doubts, you can you can text me, you can WhatsApp me, you can write a mail. I'll be happy to help you out. Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye bye. Good night. And do see in the description and do join and enroll and empower us. Thank you.